Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Welcome to the 148th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with co-host Andrew Normand and Chelsea R. Chelsea, I'd like to welcome you to the show for the first time. I'm super stoked to meet you and to have you here today. I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Hey guys, my name is Chelsea. I am a grateful recovering addict. Today I celebrate 6 months and 1 week clean.
Come on, Chelsea. Come on, girl. I know her.
I am a mom with 4 kids, so they should not interrupt, but if they do, I apologize in advance. God, what can I say? NA has changed my life, right? And you will learn more about that as this podcast episode goes on. But my life is great today. And 6 months and 8 days ago, it was not. So I'm really, really grateful to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming. Now, I ask everybody that comes on this question for the first time, just to show the newcomer, how kind of different, their growth inside their recovery can be. What was the pivotal moment that the program sparked a recovery fire in your heart? Going from I have to I love to.
That's a really good question. I think it was the moment I decided to come to NA. Really, I'll get into it more with one of my questions later that I asked, but someone really important in my life got clean through a 12-step program. And so when life felt when I got that gift of desperation, right? When I felt like I couldn't go on anymore, I couldn't live with or without drugs, right? I realized like something has to change, and I decided to give myself to NA, right? To go all in, jump in with both feet, if you will. And I've just been like balls to the wall since the very since the very beginning. And as I over the last 6 months and a week, it has gotten I've gotten more and more invested. I do a ton of service. I offer to cover service. I go to a ton of meetings every week and everything. But yeah, I fell in love from the very beginning.
I love that. Yeah, I have recovery fever. If you can't tell, I am burning
Me
up.
too.
I'm burning up.
Me
Woo,
too.
that fire's burning. Okay, so today's topic is trust the process. Can you share what this means to you, Andrew, and why you're happy to come discuss this here today?
I would love to, Milan. Chelsea, welcome
Thank
home,
you.
girl. Welcome home. We've done a lot of these episodes, Milan, and some people I don't know, so a lot of people I do know. I know this young lady very, very well. We've been in these rooms. She makes a lot of meetings, and we do a lot of service together, and we spend a lot of time together. And I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for who you are, what you do, for this fellowship, for me, as a man. Being able to have, I don't have too many women in my life that I can really trust and come to and talk to somebody straight up and get an honest answer from a woman's perspective. So it's very special. So we trust the process here, man. I was talking with Chelsea about the topics for today. We were going back and forth on what to go with, and when this popped in and she rolled with this one, I was super excited. This is a stronghold in here, man. Like, trust the process. When I heard that at the beginning, I didn't really understand what that meant. First off, I don't trust myself. How am I going to trust you guys? Like this group of individuals that's telling me all these random ass comeback, love you till you love yourself, all that kind of stuff. It's just when we're coming at it, I'll keep it on me. When I'm coming off of drugs, I don't even know what fucking color the walls are, let alone what these people are telling me and why they're telling me, and they're throwing all this love on me and keep coming back, for what? I'm extremely uncomfortable. Why would I come back to this environment? I'm being told I need to come. Whatever the reason is that you come to these rooms, um, trusting the process. It's about not giving into our gut reaction of running away and going and using drugs and doing whatever we used to do. Right? It's about surrendering to this journey. It's a commitment to ourselves, as individuals, as human beings, to be different. It's accepting that healing, that process of healing and growth. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. And we have to continue to trust this process and continue to trust that what these people are telling me in these rooms is true, despite setbacks and challenges, because we're going to have a lot of them, Chelsea, a lot of them. And some of them they're not all these grand setbacks. A lot of them are these little teeny setbacks in your day-to-day life that make it very, very easy to go back to the old way of life, using and just kind of cutting off the world and using that substance as that artificial means to be better in that moment, or whatever it is, man. I used to just throw drugs on everything, and then I would just figure it out, and then as long as I had drugs, I could continue to move forward in my life. If I didn't, the shit stopped. I mean, it stopped immediately. So trusting the process, not dwelling on past mistakes, not being bogged down by anxiety and all that shit that we worried about in the past, in the future. We have to live in the present moment, and I think a lot of this trusting the process is being able to live in that present moment. We talk about that conscious contact a lot. If we're not consciously connected, we're not in the present moment. If we're worrying about anything outside of what's happening right now, we're losing out. You know what I mean? We're losing out on life if we're worrying about all these other things outside of what the hell's happening right now, because this is what's happening right now. This right here. So I got to put 100% into what's happening right now. Whether I'm with my children, whether I'm with whatever it is, man, I have to kind of stay in that mode, because I have a disease that's not going to go away. My books tell me it's not going anywhere, but I don't want to die because of this disease, Chelsea. I want to die with it. You know what I mean? I want to live my life with spiritual principles and not, I want to live my life as a good person, being able to walk in this painting and not just observing this painting from the outside looking in like I used to. So we'll pass that to you, Milan, and then we'll make it around that way. And I love you, love you, love you, Chelsea.
No,
Thank
Chelsea's up
you.
next.
Oh yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So can you share what the topic of trust the process means to you, Chelsea, and
Yeah.
why you're happy to
Sorry.
discuss it? By the way, I got 2 dogs and 1 daughter, and if we hear a
Okay.
kid noise, there's not going to be any
Friendly
crying.
She's
But
like,
they better
Mom, I got pee.
they better
Like,
come on and introduce themselves
all
so
the
we can
time.
all say hi.
We
my
love them.
11-year-old is supposed to be watching them, right? She's like, I gotta pee. I'm like, go tell your sister.
Tell her we love her.
Yeah, I will. Andrew knows my kids, I was told to stop apologizing for them. So
Mom
it's
swag.
a
Mom
little
swag.
different. Um, yeah, so trusting the process for me, I agree like with a lot of what Andrew said, right? For me, like I get complacent at times, and it's real easy to fall back into those like old habits, old behavior. Even like I struggle a lot with like process addictions, right? Binge watching TV, drinking Red Bulls, stuff like that. And so if I'm not careful, um I'll sit on the couch and watch TV all day. And my kids are like, I'm hungry. I want this. I want that. And I'm like, hold on. And trusting the process to me means like knowing that I have to keep going, right? I can't stop. I can't backpedal. I need to keep moving forward. And I have to put trust that even though it doesn't feel like things are changing, that they are slowly changing, right? And another question I have planned touches on that more, but um yeah, it's just having faith that you're doing the right thing and and to just keep going, I think that really is what it means to me.
Love that.
Love you.
I'm so
Love
glad
that.
you're here, and
Thank
it's
you.
so nice to see you, Andrew. I missed you.
I
Well, even
miss you,
though it's
man.
been a few days, but it's always the longest stretch from Friday to Wednesday.
Feels like
Like
forever.
I know. When you guys threw this topic out there, I first of all, I always like somebody to pick the topic the first time they're on. Like I feel like I want you to be comfortable. This is our home, but I want you to not feel like a visitor. I want you to feel like you're home. And for me, it's like when I think of trust the process, the phrase more will be revealed also feels like it's floating right there. I grew up as a math guy, and one of the things about math is that you're always introduced to things before you're at the point where you could theoretically prove them. I mean, you're using Pythagoras theorem when you're a little kid, just after you learn multiplication. And the odds of you being able to prove it at that age is pretty slim, but you can use it to build the lengths of triangles. And quite a lot happens inside the early days of recovery where we're shown these steps to take. But I think, for most of us, for me, you know, I couldn't understand the broader implications of what was happening as it was going on. And I, you know, I'm very fortunate. I was desperate as fuck. Like I really I really was like, okay, whatever. Like there was a long time I wouldn't even have approached a 12-step program because of the G word. And that's just straight up honesty. And when it came into me dying and coming back, and I was like, here we go. Whatever you got, what I am trying is catastrophically failing, and I needed something different. And that created that. It's like bang, that moment cracked my head open and made me open minded. And my willingness to survive was initially motivated 100% by fear. But, consequently, the treatment center I went to, and fortunately, they were really great. Like the way that they presented the process was in consumable amounts. And, so we were not only doing step work, but every day we kind of had group, and group had different exercises. And I felt like that filled in some of the holes of part of the whys to trust the process. Like, I mean, learning about things like triggers and emotional sobriety and the masks we're wearing, and, like all these things of like why I need to do other things inside the process. It was really important to either get the information later on so I could see why I was still doing it, you know. But the one thing that happened is, you know, I stopped craving drugs and alcohol. I was staying straight. I lost my feeling of guilt. I was starting to feel joy and happiness. And I was like my faith in the process was like self-fulfilling by the process. And it's continued to be so the whole way along. So anyway, I'm real excited for the questions, and I'm really stoked. And P.S. Guess who loves you guys? I do.
Mhm. Love you back. Love you back.
Love you.
All right, Miss Chelsea, I'm gonna come to you for the first question, and then we'll make it around that way, okay?
All right. So,
Or I'm gonna
my
I'm gonna
first.
ask you, or you I'm gonna ask you,
Oh, no,
right?
you're right. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got
Yep.
confused.
You're good. You're good.
Go
That's all right.
ahead.
That's all right. Look, I was the first one to mess up this morning, so I'm gonna ask you, and then we'll go around that way, and then you'll ask, and then we'll go around. So,
Perfect.
um, all right. So, how, Miss Chelsea, what does trusting the process look like in your daily life today?
That's a good
Let us in.
question.
Let us in.
All right. Let's see. Trusting the process. What does it look like in my life today? It looks like showing up. It looks like um working a program, right? It looks like um giving my all to NA. They say what you put before your recovery, your disease will take from you first. And
Hmm.
I have 4 kids, right? From 1 to 11. I have a husband, I have a cat, I have a family. And it was really hard for me to understand or to like wrap my head around the fact that like I have to put my recovery before my kids, right? And I went to rehab almost 3 years ago, not almost 3 years clean, but I went to rehab almost 3 years ago, and they started telling me that, right? I'm like, there's no freaking way I'm not gonna put my kids after anything. Um, and I went back out, right? So it's a really hard balance trying to I almost feel like they need to come equal, your recovery just a little hair more than your kids, but I have to trust the process, right? That's what I have to do to stay clean. So yeah, I make a lot of meetings, I do a lot of
He
service.
does.
I do. I used to have like 9 service commitments, like once I hit 90
A
days,
little
and
worried,
my
but she
sponsor
doesn't. We'll talk later. We'll talk later.
my sponsor, and I'm still like, "Oh, you need me to cover you? I got you," and
Yeah,
my sponsor's like, "Stop, Chelsea."
yeah, yeah.
I love doing service. I love giving back. I love helping people, and it really is selfless service. But yeah, I have to give it my all and trust that what is meant to happen will happen, that this is what I have to do to keep me clean. And have made it 6 months and a week, and I don't
Ooh.
have today. I'm only speaking on today because it's not been every day, but just for today, I don't have any desire to use drugs. So the process seems to be working. I just finished step 1 yesterday. I was so excited.
Proud of you,
And
girl.
then
Proud of you. So
my
proud of you.
sponsor was sick, so I'm like texting her and all excited. She didn't text me back till like the night. I'm like, what the hell?
It's gonna
But
start changing for you now. I'm telling you right
yeah.
now. Keep it up.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to get onto the God steps, because like I'm still struggling a lot with like the I believe in like Jesus Christ, God, right? What everyone is entitled to their own beliefs, and I don't push mine on anyone, but in rehab I found God, and then I stopped reading the Bible. I stopped praying. I stopped like my conscious contact, and then it went away. The signs went away. He spoke to me on Christmas morning in my dream one time. Um, and I've been struggling really hard to like get that back, but it's because I'm not praying, because I'm not doing the things I know I need to do, so like I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm really excited to get into steps 2 and 3 and like deepen that, rebuild that connection, deepen it, because I know like you can't work this program without a higher power, so yeah, I would say that's
Beautiful answer. Beautiful
thank
answer.
you.
That was amazing. All right, you ready, Milan? So, what does trusting the process look for you in your daily life? Let us in a little bit, man.
Okay, well, okay, got a minute? Just kick your
I
feet up.
do.
No. Um, First of all, that step 1 is true for me every single day. I have no reservations about my powerfulness. I am powerless, and if I tried to take that power back, my life becomes unmanageable. My life has become manageable inside my program, and so I trust the process is working by that sheer fact that I am straight and my life is becoming manageable. The more that I am able to surrender my will on a daily basis through my prayer of gratitudes, and through what I'm learning now in two-way prayer, the more I'm gaining the sense of peace and serenity in my actions. And that really, to me, is building faith in the process. Like, um, I felt like I really wasn't doing enough prayer and meditation before the end of October last year. I'll acknowledge that on this show. I felt like a friend had a relapse. I always recalibrate my program when somebody around me is faltering. Like I try to not make it, instead of a pity party, I make it a program party. And I like start to work at, I'm like, where are some holes in what I'm doing? And that was a hole. Like it was, I wasn't feeling like I was close to a relapse, but I was like, what am I, I looked at the 12 steps and I'm like, what am I not doing enough of here? And, and so that has increased substantially in the last few months. And then since the beginning of July, I was fortunate enough to meet a guy and hear a guy speak about two-way prayer at the AA 2025 International Conference in Vancouver. And his conviction and description of how that changed his life, it instantly intrigued me. I was fortunate enough to get his information and have him on the podcast there about a week and a half ago. But I've been doing the two-way prayer every morning. Like I get up and I'm doing it. And the one thing I can say for sure is that there's just like little surprising answers, that it seems real simple, but it's like, if you actually do it, it's not that minute, like one of the things that I was finding is that I start my day with gratitudes. I have a great gratitude list groups. I'm part of multiple groups. And but the reason I'm getting itchy bitchy and twitchy in the day is because my frequency of gratitude wasn't there. And one of the things that came as my response to my questions in my two-way prayer was to increase the frequency of my gratitude thoughts. And so it's almost like I try to just mentally, like, every hour, I try to pick like three things that are like that I'm trying to find gratitude for. And what I'm trying to do, though, especially is because one of my biggest problems is like intolerance, lack of acceptance, and anger towards other people. And that stems from me not feeling grateful about them. So it's like the more I'm releasing and surrendering to this process, the more I'm getting those moments of peace and serenity. So it's just like my trust in this process is at an all time high, but it's based on me running my program like the tightest ship on the roughest seas in the world, because that's it. Like if I don't, I die. And that's where my honest, like, I don't kid myself about it. Like I see some people forget their gift of desperation, and I'm just lucky enough to still be scared shitless for mine. You know, I love you guys.
Oh, I love you too, and it sounds like your surrender game is on fleek, if you will, right? Like
Right.
you got a tough surrender game. It sounds
I'm
like your
I'm really
surrender game is
going deep
hard.
though, dude. It's
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 hard AF,
amazing
as
though.
the kids would say. Hey, so I heard this is a program of surrender, not self-improvement, Tom Smith. I love that
Ooh,
guy.
next Wednesday.
This
See you
this
soon,
is
Tommy.
we gotta out surrender this thing,
Yeah.
Milan. So you hit on that, man. And that's kind of leads me into my answer. So what does trusting the process look for me like in my daily life? So I'll let y'all in a little bit. Trusting the process for me is that surrender, right? It really boils down to starting my day no longer with stress, but with surrender, right? I've exchanged stress with surrender. But it's a daily commitment to live spiritually aligned with who I want to be. I got to stay spiritually tapped in at all times. And I know that I'll be making the right decision and doing the right thing, especially when nobody's looking, right? Not just when nobody's looking, but especially when nobody's looking, because that allows me to stay right with myself and understand that I'm a better person today than I was, and I'm not just talking about it, I'm actually doing it regardless of who's looking, because God is always looking, God's always watching. So we're not ducking him. If we're gonna really kind of give in and trust this process, that needs to be on the forefront of this thing, that we have got to continuously turn this thing over, and being able to turn this thing over and trust this process. That's a really big part of trusting the process for me, personally. But I don't have to manipulate outcomes anymore to get what I need, because it's not about me anymore. Okay. When I can take my self-will out of this thing, this everything flows a little bit easier. It seems like my answers come a little bit in that natural flow of life that I need. I'm not having to like think process my way into every decision and everything that I do, because I'm on the forefront. I'm living a certain type of way because I made this commitment. And so this trusting the process phrase, it shows up in my daily life, my responses to life, when things get a little hairy and things, piss me off, traffic, shit like that. It helps in those moments that, like, shit, like all that shit, like life is going on, like life sucks. People suck. a lot of things suck, but like as long as I can keep it on me, keep my side of the street clean, help the people who are connected to me, you know, in my new tribe, right? Keep those people right, because they're the people that are gonna keep me right when I'm off. You know what I mean? I gotta give those people that are really close to us, those, you know, our close people, like we gotta give those people peace. Because when we lose peace, like those are the people that are gonna keep us peaceful and keep our heads on straight. So that's how this whole thing turns. It's like this hamster wheel of healthy living and like having friends. Like we have friends, Chelsea. We don't know what friends are. We have friends that like love us and like unconditionally will do anything for us. For no other reason than we did trust the process and we kept coming back and we were a little vulnerable and now we're family. You know what I mean? Like we come in here and we greet each other as if we survived the same near-death catastrophe. Like we were in the exact same badass car accident that almost killed all three of us. We were in that same accident. That's how we greet each other. Think about that. And so, if I can continue to keep that mindset and understand, like the newcomer's the most important person here. We can't keep all this beautiful shit that we're talking about unless we give that to them every time. You know, and it's about doing the next right thing every single time. You know, it's not going to work out every time, but as long as you can make that gut instinct and do that right decision and feel comfortable in that in the moment, like you can always make up for it if it wasn't the right decision. But do the right thing, stay tapped in, and you can always do the right thing in the moment, you know. So
I love
I'll
that.
pass that to you, Chelsea, to ask
Yep.
Milan.
Yep. I'm ready,
All
Chelsea.
right. I
Woohoo! I'm
gotta
ready
look
for
at
your
my phone.
question.
All right. So my
Pumped up.
first question, what keeps you going on the hard days when trusting the process feels impossible?
Woo! Well, you know, honestly, it is coming down to so many successive examples of it working. Like, there's times where I'm like, this is all fucked, and everybody always, and I'm like, whoa. Like, what I try to do when it's coming at me like that, and I'm really tired. Like, generally, this is a really tired day reaction for me, you know, because I've had really horrible things come at me on days where I'm in fine form and they just bounce off me like bullets off Superman those days, right? But the days I'm tired are like my weekdays. And so things I do is, first of all, if it's cool enough, because I live somewhere really hot, if it's cool enough, I'll go walk my dogs or go walking just to kind of clear my head physically. But it's also where I do a lot of my prayer, and I'll kind of get myself into a beautiful spot and my energy in a different space. And quite often, that time and that stepping away is enough for me to realize that I'm kind of manifesting a bad reaction inside myself. Like the further I'm getting deeper on this thing, is that I'm way happier now with way less of a result than I used to be. And like every Tuesday, my wife and I have date night, and so last night was date night, and we were driving along, and it's like, you want to have humility, and you want to, like, be able to be objective when you're looking at yourself. So sometimes somebody close to you is kind of the only soundboard of your progress, you know and we were talking about like overall happiness, and I'm like, is it safe to say that I react better to things now? And she started crying. She's like, it's safe to say that you're fucking 10 times happier than you ever have been since I've known you, you know
Hmm.
and so it's like, the more that I can get myself into that peaceful, serene state of mind, the better I'm reacting to everything. So it's almost like I'm going to have bad reactions, and I now give myself grace for those days because I'm actually looking at all the factors that are happening too. I'm like, holy shit, okay, I didn't sleep last night, like, try to avoid things that are going to be high conflict today. um, but I also am able to get myself to a better reaction point by keeping my program tight. And I, if you've never tried it, go to twowayprayer.org, Chelsea. And like it is, they have like, little 4-page printout to start doing it. And I'm telling you, like, it just takes the question out of the right thing to do for today.
Like guided prayer is pretty cool. It's pretty dope.
Oh, yeah. And
Get your sponsor, talk to your sponsor about it. She'll like that shit too.
it's amazing. And for me, it's almost like predefining how I react to bad things. Like I find that the answers I'm getting in two-way prayer are the answers I need for my interactions almost before they happen. And then something starts happening and I'm like, oh, whoa, I have to be listening more now. Shut my mouth. Like my first reaction is to come up with a fucking awesome solution. Like they're not that awesome, you know. Like generally that first reaction for me is going to be self-will because I had 51 and a half years of priming that engine, like, and so it is like I'm currently in the process of retraining myself, but with only, gosh, man, it's just under 2 weeks of doing this, like consistently. I feel like my jerkometer is like down like 20% in my life,
Jerk face Milan. We
The
don't like that
jerkometer.
dude. We don't like that dude. We don't like jerk face.
I don't
Milan.
invite him. I invite him over, man.
He's a dick. We don't like that
He's
guy.
a super dick.
Hey, and you know who Miss Chelsea's sponsor is? Miss Wendy.
Oh,
Yep.
shit, damn,
so,
awesome.
yeah.
I love Wendy.
Yeah.
So there's the lineage.
Yeah,
There's the
Wendy's
lineage
awesome.
Yeah,
there.
nice. Wow, we got to have a podcast with both you ladies on.
That would
Boom.
be super cool.
Boom. Boom. All right. So are you gonna ask me now, Miss Chelsea?
Yeah. All right, Andrew. What keeps you going on the hard days when trusting the process feels impossible?
That's a great question. And see how this is kind of like this is like a concentrated meeting. This is like the crosstalk.
Yeah.
Right? We get to ask follow-up questions, and then when somebody has like a dope answer, we can be like, "Oh shit, really? Like, what do you mean about? Like, how'd you think about that? That's crazy." We were gonna call this the crosstalk, but somebody already took that name.
Oh.
Anyways, so it shows up. Okay, so when I'm not feeling all that well, or when it's not in my wheelhouse to do the right thing, trusting the process, even when I'm uncomfortable. It's not because I'm like it's about showing up on the outside, even when on the inside feels terrible, right? And I don't mean like being really uncomfortable, like forcing yourself to be uncomfortable, but it's like even when my emotions are a wreck, as long as my exterior, going to work and showing up for my responsibilities, my service commitments. That's another thing with service that a lot of people don't understand. When you give yourself service commitments, not just one a month. You actually give yourself weekly service commitments, several of them, a few of them, and you can over service yourself. So stay cool, stay right with that. But as long as you stay in that service commitment lane, like you're gonna have to go to meetings. You know what I mean? Even when you don't want to, Chelsea, I know this has been true for you. It has gotten you into meetings when you've been in those little spots when you didn't want to be in meetings.
Yeah.
And you feel better immediately. Like after that meeting, you go, fuck, like I wouldn't have come to this meeting. A, B, I was of service to the group tonight on top of that. And you just feel better, man. You get pumped up. People appreciate you being there and being of service. It changes your mood, even if just for that hour. It gets you out of your head, which can usually, once you get that ball rolling positive, for me, it's easier to go that way instead of trying to stop it from nothing, right? Not having any fellowship. It's about connection. Everything comes down to connection and being of service to somebody else. And how serviceable are we to each other as human beings today? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, like right now. Like how serviceable are we right now to ourselves and to God, right? Like as long as I can, man, the more prayer, more peace, more prayer, more serenity, less prayer, less serenity, less prayer. Like I pray my ass off. I wake up every single morning, I tap in. And it's beautiful because it takes a lot of that second guessing out of my day. All that second guessing of like, I roll with how the natural flow of the day goes. Because again, I've coming into this thing on a good note, doing that like already. And so I don't have to come in here from like, 3 months of not surrendering, 3 months of not having any peace, right? We've talked about that before. When we don't have that stuff in our life, when we don't stay consistent, that consistent word, we don't keep consistency in our lives and keep these things consistently, and they fall off, it's a lot harder to pick them back up. You know what I mean? It's a lot harder to get back in meetings when you've not been going to meetings for a little while. It's like you can just really talk yourselves out of like, they don't want me there and nobody cares about me. Nobody's reached out, or like, bro, we can go negative quick. I've had a couple things here recently that I have gone south on mentally. And then when I realized what the real situation is behind it, a couple things I ran my mouth on, which I learned from that, but the like a couple things right after that, and I held my tongue, and I was so happy that I did, because my mind is sick, bro. My mind is still sick. I'm still an extremely sick individual. I realize that I'm still so sick, but I have kind of like I like have a warning sign or a mid range there that stops all these sick thoughts, right? Like it's like I've trained my mind to be stronger than my emotions, Chelsea. Because if not, like my mind will win like my emotions are going to take hold every single time. So I have to get in meetings. I have to see how other people are doing it. And I have to train my brain to like run security on those emotions, or I'm fucked. I'm done. I'm done, because my emotions will just take my whole everything I got, and I'm out. And I'm out, you know. So um that's just it's a good question, and it got me kind of hyped up, because here recently I have fallen prey to those emotions, and I've come out, and I've even second guessed. I've done some work on it, and I've still gone back and ran my mouth, and it bit me, and and that's okay. That's okay today, because I have a program. You know, I can make amends. I can say I'm sorry for certain things, and not expect all these things from everybody. Right? Just roll with it. Pray to God. Turn things over. Look, I can take every decision I make every single day, Chelsea, to step 1, 2, and 3. I can surrender what it is. I can identify the problem. I can turn it over. If I can do that in every single decision I make throughout the day, I'm going to be better off. Surrender it, identify it, do what I can, and turn the rest over to God, and then roll. And so, great question.
Thank
Love
you.
that.
Milan.
All
Oh,
right. So the question is, what keeps me going on hard days when trusting the process feels impossible?
She's a pro.
This is one of my favorite stories to tell. I was talking about it in the introduction a little bit. Um, I have a little brother, and he's 2 years, 13 days younger than me. Well, there's twins, right? One of them is an addict, though. He spent 15 years like I won't say it on like a recorded thing, but doing all kinds of things that he could go to prison for, and just he seemed like truly a lost cause. Like there was no hope for him. He was never getting off dope. He'd never get better, and he made life so difficult for us. And he went to rehab twice, and it didn't work. Um, and then one day he started going to the 12-step program, right? He goes to a different fellowship, just to avoid, the people, places, and things type thing. But um, he got clean. And March 19th of this year, we went to a meeting and he picked up his 4-year medallion.
It's
And
yeah, bro.
yeah, he's my little brother, but I look up to him so much. So, um, like I had said, I went to rehab in at the end of 2022, and I'm like, I don't need to think about, listen to, talk about drugs all the time. I'm fine. Blah blah blah. I was like, I used for like 3 or 3.5 years, right? Not for a long, long time like a lot of people do, but I managed to almost lose everything in those 3 years. Um, and so I thought, I'm fine. I got this, right? The 3 words you're not ever supposed to say. I
woo.
got this.
Yeah.
And I stayed clean for a year and a half. I did. I stayed abstinent. I did not have recovery. I had abstinence. But see, when I went to rehab, it was because I knew if I didn't go, CPS was going to take my kids. So I didn't want to stop using. But I got clean for my kids. I love my kids more than anything. And and I think because I didn't want it for myself, it didn't work.
Hmm.
And so fast forward, I relapse on something else and I spend like 8, 9 months out there. And I'm fighting with my husband all the time. And there's just like, I finally get the gift of desperation. And what kept me away from
God.
yeah, what kept me away from NA for so long was the fact that alcohol is a drug, period, right? And I would drink once every few months socially, and I'm like, I don't want to give that up. My disease has taken so much from me. I don't want it to take that too. And so I like resisted it for a long time. And then one day I was like driving, I heard the song, and it was like my husband was singing the song about me, and I'm like, I gotta do something, right? All right, I'll give up alcohol for a year, and I'll give NA my everything, and if then at the end of a year I'll decide if I want to stay and not drink and not do drugs, or if I want to leave and just not do drugs. I knew within like a week or two I wasn't going anywhere. But uh what makes it or what helps on hard days in trusting the process is looking at my brother and seeing him thriving now, for almost 4.5 years clean. He's got a great job. He has like a side business, or well, two. He's like a mechanic and a handyman, and he's an amazing uncle. He has a girlfriend, he does his service commitments every week. He goes to like one in-person meeting a week, and that works for him. I need a lot more than that. But if he can have such a great life after so many years of such freaking hell, then this program will work for me. I was nowhere near as bad as he was. I mean, in a lot of ways I was, right? But if it works for him, it works for me. And then the only other thing quickly, um, I look at my kids, right? And I look at like what my disease did to them in active addiction and, almost losing them and the trauma that that must have caused and the fear when I relapsed and do you think my mom's doing drugs again or asking, are you going to have to go back to rehab? I missed my daughter's birthday. They had to spend Christmas and Thanksgiving at a rehab. Like it was hard for my family and I almost relapsed on day 28. My mom told me, uh, if you use again, you have to tell each one of your kids you're choosing drugs over them. And I'm like, ain't no way in hell, right?
I
But
remember that day.
yeah. I jumped in meetings, right? And I told on my disease and I told on my disease. I told my parents, I told my husband, which I knew meant I couldn't use. I shared to get the power out of it. And I've had to do that a couple times over the last 6 years and some days, but it really, really helps on those hard days when I want to use or when I just don't feel like going to anymore. Like Andrew was saying, I don't feel like going to meetings. I get too sucked into the TV and those service commitments, they really do keep me clean. They keep me last night. I didn't want to be in a meeting. Hey, do you need a timer? Like I just
Yep.
I do what I have to do to stay in meetings and stay connected. Thank you.
I
And it
love
makes you
that.
feel better. You start being of service to the group. You're like, I'm timing. I'm helping right now. And then you get out of your ass. You get out of your ass.
Halfway through the readings, or if not by clean time, because meeting makers
Clean
says
time.
clean time.
Clean time set,
Do
bro. I
it.
don't
If you
care
gotta
what
wake,
meet.
time to wake the fuck up.
If you have never celebrated clean time online or any kind of service, please come to Meeting Makers. Bro, it takes you out of like it hypes you up, man. People are like, what the hell is going on around here? This is wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We have like MCs that run it. Like it's just crazy.
Right.
It's just
NAmeetingmakers.com/Zoom. It'll take you directly,
yep.
password needed.
All you need, everything you need.
Yeah.
You ready for a question, Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Recovery doesn't give us control, it gives us direction. How do you remind yourself that progress can't always be measured?
Wow. Yeah, it really can, especially in the moment. Especially in the moment. That's why this program is so important because it gives me an outline for my day every day. I've worked the steps, I'm working the steps again, and I'm working the doctorate degree version with Sean now. But having worked those steps, having these spiritual principles in my life, being able to understand that setbacks and mistakes that I'm going to make are not things for me to get down on myself for, right? It just shows I'm trying a new way of life. So I'm going to continue to try and push through those times. But having that daily inventory step that I can daily step 10 my day, step 10 Starcic. That's his name too, Chelsea, step 10 Starcic. He's a step 10
I can step
beast.
10 faster than anyone in the West.
Bro, he said something that might make you a little upset. By the end of the podcast, he's like, all right, well, we need to take a moment. We need to talk about this for a minute. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. But having that, you know, I go through days where you know, days, plural, where I'm just in a rut. But I know for a fact that I'm in that rut for a reason, you know, because I stay tapped in. So I can know that he's got something on the other side of this little spout that I'm running into that's going to be on that other side for me. And it works out that way every single time. As long as I stay faithful, I got to stay tapped in and stay faithful. Because fear will knock me down every time. You know, fear, fuck everything and run, or face everything and recover. And fear is just what? False evidence appearing real. You already know what time it is.
Andrew always with the acronyms.
I've got them all over the place, you know. So you know, but leaning into that faith, finding answers in the hurt, is where, you know, faith beats fear every single time. Every single time. If I can stay faithful, fear's gone. I'm not even sure what got me to that, but I was going to come to a point. I forget what the point was. I forget what my point. And we do this a lot. But look, if I stay clean, like, things are going to be revealed over time. So staying clean has to come first. I have to understand that I don't have to do all these grandiose things throughout the day. That if I'm feeling bad, if I'm in a rut, like, as long as I stay clean, I'm doing the next right thing. I'm doing what I need to do to stay alive. And like, all that other shit will pick back up when I start feeling a little better. But I have to understand that acceptance and patience through those ups and downs is going to allow me to heal and be a better person, on the other side of whatever comes across my plate. So I'll pass that, man. I'm running my mouth now.
I love that.
Love you.
Chelsea, recovery doesn't give us control, it gives us direction. How do you remind yourself that progress can't always be measured?
That's a good question. I just God, that's a really good question that I don't have an answer for. Um, I guess I just try and stay in the process, and like Andrew said, more will be revealed, right? So you just keep doing the next right thing, and you know, a, a lot of times I think, like, I'm not making any progress. I'm still, especially like when it's summertime right now. My kids aren't in school, so I'm like waking up at 11 or 12 normally. I woke up at like 6 this morning, so I was surprised I wasn't tired. But uh I wake up late, I watch TV all day, and I'm not like, whereas when they're in school, I'm doing a lot more meetings and stuff, and so I'm like, I'm backsliding, I'm getting complacent, I'm not making any progress, right? And then sometimes I like to just sit and just look at, like, maybe not the progress as of the last couple months, because there's not a lot of progress from there, but where have I come from the beginning? I haven't done drugs in 6.5 or 6 months in a week is a really long time.
A lot of miracles. It's a lot
Yeah.
of miracles.
Every clean time. My name is Chelsea. I'm a grateful recovering addict.
No,
And today, family, I'm 6 months and 7 miracle days clean. Always, because
no.
each day is a miracle, right? We celebrate in between time also at Meeting Makers, because a day clean is a day one.
No.
Um, it's my favorite part about the meeting. It really is. Aside
It's
from
what got her in our meetings. Look, she's
yeah,
when her I kind of connected, and then I got her doing clean time, and it created like a whole new service position in our meetings
yeah,
because of how
yeah,
she was doing it, and it just kept her coming. And then she come to the other meetings that, like, we're in another meeting
yeah,
that we do service. We're in two or three different meetings that we do service together. That's how badass we
yeah,
are. And
yeah.
so she just started doing that everywhere, and then it rolled right into her hosting a meeting, those same meetings, like, once a week.
Co-hosting
So
and
it's
then
like
hosting, and
co-hosting
yeah.
and showing the newcomers how to get into service. It's been beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. And I don't do clean time meeting makers anymore, but every now and then I get to, and I get so excited. I did it last night. I was
The
like,
trainer trained them
yeah, I'm
things.
the trainer. I'm like, I'll send you my list. I got all the fun sayings, like, have you met a great because you fucking rock, and that one I took
Yes.
from
Oh
someone, but
yeah.
but yeah,
Sarah
there
B.
Sarah B. Yeah,
We love her.
uh It's a lot of fun sayings. I love it. It always wakes me up if I'm not awake. But yeah, so I look back on where I was, I was coming to NA for like 5 to 7 days before I got clean. So I look back where I was 6.5 months ago, right before I started coming to NA, because the changes really started in that week. I started having these epiphanies and realized that what I did was I relapsed, right? Even though it was a different drug, um, it was still considered a relapse, and I just noticed a lot, and I grew a lot in that week that I was still using, right? So going back to before that, I look at how far I've come, and um like I have makeup on right now. My hair is done right now. That is not like I don't even remember the last time I wore makeup, and my kids are fed, right? When I was using, I as embarrassing as it is to admit, I didn't think like, hey, my kids might be hungry, let me feed them, because I wasn't hungry, so I didn't even think about it. It's that self-obsession, and we just are in our own world, and um yeah, their diapers are always changed now. My husband has some peace. We're still working on building that trust, but like he's working out of town right now. He's gone during the week and home on the weekends. And like he's not worried today, like that I'm getting loaded for 5 days and then staying clean for three. I'm able to give him peace. His blood pressure's real high right now, and I'm not adding to it. It's a beautiful thing. So I think about, while haven't made much progress in the last couple months, I have made a fuck ton in the last, half a year. And that keeps me um it it keeps me like feeling like okay about myself, but it also like energizes me, right? I just came back from my first convention, and I'm
First
like
convention.
so
Yep.
fired up about my
Oh
recovery,
yeah.
and it was an amazing experience, and I did
She
all
met
the
Wendy,
things.
Bungie,
Yeah, I got to
all
meet
of
my
Oh,
you. Yeah.
sponsor. Yeah, and Sarah B. And yeah, I got to meet some ladies from my home group that I've only known online and stuff.
So
But yeah,
jealous.
it's got me like going to meetings when I'm not of service again, and those service commitments keep me in at least 5 meetings a week because I have 5 commitments now. But now, oh, I'm speaking, I'll be there. I'm speaking, I'll be there. Or yesterday, it's not my clean time, but yesterday was 1,000 days since I last did hard drugs, since I went to rehab.
ooh,
And like,
Oh
that
yeah.
is an accomplishment for me, right?
Oh yeah.
Super fucking proud of that. So,
Proud of you.
um, yeah, thank you. So yeah, I just, I look at how far I've come, and that helps.
We
that's
talked about the
amazing.
meetings too, Chelsea. And what's happening with your husband? Because I've seen a little bit of this where maybe he gets mad that you kind of go to so many meetings. But what it does is
Yeah.
he has that peace of mind because when he goes out of town, he knows you're still doing meetings. And I know you
Yeah.
slack out on the meetings on the weekend, but when he's out of town, he knows you're in meetings because you're in meetings
Yeah,
regardless. Like so he
exactly.
knows you're. It's not like what is she doing? I got to keep my eye on her when I'm there and when I'm not there. It's like
Mhm.
she's doing a lot of meetings. Like she's tapped
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, he
So
knows. Exactly.
and if
Nice.
you're not, he'll know. He'll see that you're not. And
Yeah,
it'll be one of
yeah.
those things that just
He told me yesterday, you're so much happier now, and I think Milan
Yeah.
was talking about
Yeah.
that with
in
his
the
wife
long run,
earlier.
this thing
Yeah.
plays out,
It
bro.
was
This thing
it
plays out.
was
Yeah.
it was amazing to like have him see and acknowledge all my hard work. It was a great feeling.
It's beautiful
I
because
love
a lot
that.
of our like my family members used to be like, "Are you gonna have to go to all those meetings like for the rest of
Yeah.
your life?" And I didn't know how to answer that question when they asked me at first. I'm going, I
I
hope
get
not.
to. I
Yes,
get to.
I don't really know. Let me call my sponsor and see how to answer that question.
Yeah.
But now if they don't see me in meetings at certain times of the day, they're like, "Bro, what's wrong with you? I've never not seen you in a meeting at this time for
Mm.
3 years. What the fuck are you doing?" Like at 10 o'clock Eastern, if I'm not in a meeting, people are hunting me down.
Yeah.
So it's wild. It's cool. It's a good
It's
thing.
it's the community, man, and that's kind of, I think, one of the best functions is feeling like we're part of something and that our
Yeah.
absence is noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it is. It is.
That's why they
It
say to
is.
get a home group, man, so you're not homeless.
Yes. They're not homeless. They're not living under
That's
a
right.
bridge no more. Don't live under a
Mm-hmm.
bridge anymore.
Recovery doesn't give us control, it gives us direction. How do I remind myself that progress can't always be measured? Man, this takes me back to like a meeting online I was at. It was maybe 14 or 16 months ago. And this lady said on the meeting, she said, I use my emotions as the direction signposts for my recovery. And I really loved how she identified it like that, because it was like, what discomfort am I feeling? Well, then let's get to the source of that. What's my part in that? Where do we go? You know, and so, that first part of that recovery doesn't give us control, it gives us direction. We might not be able to stop our anger, but if we're actually listening to the program, we're actually supposed to surrender them anyway, right? And, but it gives us the direction. And that direction can be what we need to start trying to surrender, what we need to start trying to pray for help for, and I think that there's a lot of things like when we talk about our happiness, right? We can't quantify that, but we know it's there, right? Like it's something that is 100% tangible, but it doesn't mean that it's quantifiable, and for me, I think of things like the absence of drugs or alcohol in my life, like that. I mean, I can't tell you how much more drugs I would have done or how much more alcohol if I hadn't died, but I certainly know that my quantity right now is zero. That's one measurable thing. But the changes and the freedom and the peace and the serenity, you know for somebody who had no peace, any peace I have now is infinitely more. Zero multiplied by anything. Like even by I have actual moments and feelings and blissful, serene moments that carry me through the day, and just like bring out frequent smiling or satiation from the moments. Like I've said this a few times, but if I lived this last month for the rest of my life, I would be content with my life. And there's never been a point in my life where I had contentment before, probably before last summer. Like it took me a while in the program to start getting energy back, to get off my cigarettes. Like, man, that really kept my
That's my
energy
next
level
thing.
down. Dude, it kept my blood from flowing and it kept me from doing more exercise. And the exercise has just been knocking the shit out of whatever's stored up in my veins and plaque inside me, and I needed that. I needed that flow again. I needed that
Yeah.
flow in my body, or I was feeling subdued. So, you know, I look at it all the time that there's lots of stuff I won't be able to measure exactly, but I have 100% faith that my life is changing. Like I'm just too much of a seeker and doing too many things for me. Like I would be in a state of zero gratitude to not notice how my life is changing. and,
Yeah.
and I and I give a lot of gratitude now, even way more frequently, because I'm listening to my prayers, right?
And you hit on something with the because as addicts, man, we don't know what peace is, Milan. You talked about that chaos. Like we have to, when we get in here, we have to choose that unfamiliar peace over that familiar chaos. Right?
Hmm.
Like chaos is so familiar to us. Like that's our spot. And so, peace is unfamiliar. And so we have to lean into that unfamiliar peace. We got to change everything up to be able to do that though. Got to burn that shit down to,
We are natural at creating that chaos. Like we can
yeah,
sit there and be having a freaking joyous day, and one person does one thing, and that's all
done.
we see.
That's
Like it's like we just blot out the 999 great things, and we're like, my day sucks because that one person said one
it.
fucking
Yeah.
thing to me. And it's like, oh, by the way, you're in a beautiful
Everything just
spot with a
goes
family
red.
that
Yeah.
loves you. You have food, you have
And
dogs, you have, oh, sorry, you have a house,
Yeah.
you've got like
Got a
all
full
this
belly.
amazing,
You got a full belly and a
oh,
house
yeah.
look,
over a roof
there's
over
more
your head.
people that love you. Oh, you have the opportunity
Money
to
in your
help and
pocket.
serve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took
Money in your
me
pocket.
a long time to accept the fact that they're bad moments, not bad days, right? Because I would let one little
Mm.
thing like ruin my whole freaking day, and I still struggle with it sometimes, right? Like there was some shit going on a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh my God, everything is so bad, but it's just a bad moment. It will pass, and I feel like we can remember to stay in that, like, it's great. Gratitude is, you said something earlier about like doing gratitude lists, but your gratitude frequency was
Yeah,
off, right? And yeah,
yeah.
like you can say what you're grateful for, but you don't always feel it,
I
and
need
it makes a
reminding.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did a podcast on gratitude with a guy on Sunday from that conference I met. And one of the coolest things he said was he's like, it took him a long time, but now he finally knows he doesn't have to listen to that voice in his head. Like he's like, for so long, he's like, I thought that voice was me. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
but that voice quite often is the voice, like your cynic voice, like of saying why you shouldn't be sad. Oh, they should do this. How come you're not getting that? All that little grimer worm tongue shit over your shoulder. Like it's just it doesn't have to be listened to, and it's not the voice of reason most of the time.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was great because I think of how many times I've self-sabotaged my own life, just through listening to that voice,
Self-sabotage.
taking a stand for how I should be treated. And then I
Yeah.
fucking ruin a relationship or a day, my life, a job, whatever. I should have.
Self-sabotage was
Yeah.
my middle name for a long time.
Yeah. Nobody
Yeah.
wrecks my life more than me. Not one
Yeah.
bit. Okay, Andrew, you're up for questions.
All right, I'm asking you, Miss Chelsea,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right, Chelsea. So when
Awesome.
was the time I didn't trust the process, and what did I learn from that?
Oh, okay. So, it was when I was in rehab, right? Like I said, I thought like I don't need to think about drugs, listen to them, talk about them, all that. Like I'm fine, I got this. I don't, because they like pushed 12-step programs really heavily when I was in rehab. We did an NA meeting one night, AA the next night, NAA. We did like that. Um, and they said it doesn't work unless you do it, and blah blah blah, and you need this, and you need God, and all the things. And I'm like, I don't need that, like whatever. And I think it came down to the fact that like I didn't accept that I would be an addict for the rest of my life. It was a really hard concept for me to realize. I spent 29 years as a normal person, right? Because I did drugs in my early 20s, and I never became addicted to them, right? I would do them socially, never had any problems. And then bam, I hit 30 and I became an addict. And then for the rest of my life, no matter that I did drugs for 3 years and then I was not supposed to do drugs for however many years I have left, like I'll always be an addict. That was a really, and I'm a nurse, right? Like I know about addiction, but it was so hard for me to grasp that like with myself. And so yeah, I thought I don't need it. I'll be fine. And I was for a while, for a year and a half. That's not like some chump change or clean time. That's a good length of clean time, but I went back out, so I learned that it does not work. It can work for a period of time and maybe an extended period of time, but you have to work a program and you have to want it for yourself. If you don't do that, I mean, maybe there's some people that can like want it for themselves and do it without well, I guess there are, right? Because my husband is an addict and he doesn't work a program, but like he just has this like super freak willpower that says I'm not going to use, and he doesn't use, but like I'm a lot happier than he is, and I think it's because I work a program. um so yeah, those two things are vital for me. You have to work a program and you have to want it for yourself, and if you don't have those things, it's not going to work. um yeah, that's what I
That's
got.
I
Sorry,
love
beautiful.
that.
That's
short and
beautiful.
sweet.
I like that. I like that. Are you ready, Milan? So
Woo.
when was the time that you didn't trust the process, and what did you learn from it? What happened?
So I often introduce myself as Milan, the absent-minded addict. And
Yes, he
I
does.
think one of my greatest absent-mindedness was about surrender. It was like I surrendered my addiction, and man, oh man, I've been lucky. Like I do not have the desire, the compulsion to use, and I've not had any since the start of my program. But I started to be the one trying to solve my defect problem. And I swear I think I'd still be stuck if we weren't doing that podcast with Tom in mid March, the great resurrendering of March 2025, where, this isn't a program of self improvement. This is a program of surrender. And I just looked at, because I was feeling plateaued. And I looked at all my stuff and I was like, man, I I even listened to some of the podcasts and I'm like, listen to me talking about me working on my anger, me working on my acceptance. Like I was absolutely not surrendering, and so that means that I wasn't really living the process at that point. And I must say that it is one of my happiest things to have been wrong in my whole life because I found out that I was doing it wrong and I can course correct. Like the changes inside me in my understanding and exploration of surrender and my connection with my higher power and my form of prayer has, like, what are we, 4 months from then? 4 months from then, and I don't even feel like the same person. So it's just made my trust in the process just grow exponentially. Like I feel forever that turning point will benefit me in a way that will just continue to grow.
I love that. I love that. I love you, man. I
I
love
love
you.
you too.
So I will answer this question. When was the time I didn't trust the process, and when did I learn from it? A couple of things like hit my head. I'm gonna touch on this one real quick, but there was a relationship that I got into early. You hear all this shit. It's actually in the literature where it says like one of the most widely known but the least utilized suggestions in our program, something along those lines, is don't get into a relationship in the first year. I know y'all have heard that.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing, everybody has their own process. But I did get into a relationship early. I think we can fall prey to that really easy because coming out, we start losing these substances in our bodies. Things are working that weren't working like they maybe were, or they're ticking on different ways that they different. So you meet other people that are going through the same things, right? And it's just a natural thing that happens between individuals, because you want to lean into that love. That's another thing that showed me that the power of love too is feeling love for people that I didn't know, and they were just kind of going through the same thing I was, which would turn into almost like, if it was a girl who was attractive, it would turn into a romantic thing, right? It was a strong feeling for me, a strong emotion that I knew that I could lean into that love lane to be able to pull me through some shit, right? Like because love would take over a lot of my emotions, regardless of whether I was coming off drugs or not. That was another thing I was able to lean into with love. Like love would grab a hold of me even when I felt like hell. Like love still would take over my emotions and my bodies and my feelings, right? Like that's why I say like love is the strongest drug in the world. It's the most powerful drug in the world. There's no drug that I was ever fucked up on that could take the emotions that I feel when I feel genuine love for somebody or something or a cause that I'm doing. um it doesn't even touch it, right? And then that only builds onto itself. I'm not going to come down from love, right? There's no like love hangover. There might be, but that's kind of like a good thing to have. And so with that being said, I got into a relationship early and it was just not a good thing. And so I was able to learn from that and reel back from that, and now I found obviously somebody who I plan on being with the rest of my life, right? And so it's a beautiful thing, being able to trust that process. But there was a hairy time about 6 months that I thought I should have been feeling a lot better than I was, and that's where you're at too, Miss Chelsea. And I was in this spot where outwardly everything looked great, but I didn't feel good inside. I didn't feel good, and I was questioning if this was for me. I was still trying to complicate my way out instead of identifying my way in, like a lot of us try to do. And I kept thinking that I was just broken, and that I didn't think this thing was going to work for me, and I didn't understand the point of it. I felt really dry inside, and I had enough recovery at that point to get me through. I had service commitments, I had a lot of things going, but I realized I was and I was doing work on myself, but I realized that I was trying to take some of that control back at that point. And and it was cool because I didn't feel like going, I didn't like feel like using per se, but we talk about like a spiritual breakdown. You know, I was having problems, you know, I was spiritually getting I was wrecked spiritually at that point, and I had really lost the ability to pray for myself, and really what prayer was. And then that's when I was tapped into the real meaning of prayer for me and what it could do for me, and how to pray personally for myself. And that's when I started getting answers. I started getting answers. I started praying uncomfortably to this thing. And I remember, Milan, you're starting to get answers, like actual answers. Like I need some, you know, I want a gust of wind, and a gust of wind comes. Like it's beautiful when you really start giving into this thing and surrendering. And we can say we surrender all we want, but if you don't actually do it, you don't actually give into those feelings and emotions, and you're just running your mouth, it's not, you know, I remember there was a time when I would pray and they would just bounce back and hit me in the head. Like I felt like they were hitting the ceiling and just bouncing back and hitting me in the face, you know? And so it's about continuing to pray regardless, because I promise you, he hears you. Like, and if you don't believe in God, bro, keep coming back. Cause I know for a fact he believes in you. Like you wouldn't be here if he didn't. And, so I was able to get through that time with my sponsor, with my support network. I went to meetings uncomfortably for a while, but I understood come full circle that like that could have like I could have gone out, I could have not been here anymore, and you never know. And something so small, Chelsea, such a small decision of just picking up, or like going to that place that has certain things that could make or break you in this process. It could change your life. Like one small thing of just staying in that meeting and not leaving at that moment and going to use can literally save your life at that moment. And so it's beautiful. I love this program, and I love you guys, man. It's a great question, Andrew.
Yeah.
Love you
Great
too.
question, Andrew. Yeah,
Chelsea, you got a question for me?
I do. All right.
This has
Can
been fun. I
you?
love you guys. I love you,
I
Chelsea.
Yeah.
love you too. Can
Yeah.
you
Thanks
recall
again
a
for being here.
time?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This is truly an honor. I'm so happy to finally be here.
First of many,
Uh,
maybe.
Hell yeah. Can you recall a time when things unexpectedly improved because you stuck with the process?
Ooh, yes. Absolutely. So right, like, I mean, first of all, the very first time that I came in, I had no experience with the program before I went to treatment. And just as I went through my first set of steps in treatment, it felt like miracle after miracle after pink cloud miracle after, like, my pink cloud was like hot pants pink, man, and it was burning up in my mind. Like it was absolutely, you know, when I did my first step 5, I had my first guilt-free day in 51 and a half years. And I cannot, like, to anybody who has not experienced insane guilt like I was, like, it was absolutely the biggest feeling of freedom ever for me. And
Cried for days, didn't
I
you?
cried
Cried
for
for
a
two
day and
days.
a half of joy, you know. And then now, right now, just doing this two-way prayer thing, what I've experienced in the last under 2 weeks in this feeling of peace and serenity, and for me, the freedom that I'm feeling from it, you know, it's such an easily defined template to have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Like as much as my regular program was like an easily defined template for me to stay straight. Like people are like, "Oh, it's a just for today program." But I swear, man, if I just stick to what I did yesterday and do that today, like wholeheartedly, not half-assedly, like, oh, going through the motions, but actually put my heart into it, there's like a 99.9% chance of me staying straight today. And that's not cockiness, that's freaking faith. That's faith in the program. But now it's the same thing, man, with that two-way prayer where it's like, if I just pay attention to the responses I'm getting, actually like review them with like an honest like an honest evaluation. Like, is it honest? Is it pure? Is it unselfish? And is it loving? And throw it against that frickin' Corinthian version of love, so it's not like a bullshit half-ass love. Like, it's a real, like, there is a good chance I am doing the right thing today without having to worry about it. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been a right thing today man most of my life. So yeah, I think I'll leave that
Like
one
that.
there.
Like that.
Chelsea.
Love you, man.
Good answer.
Mm.
All right, Andrew. Can you recall a time when things unexpectedly improved because you stuck with the process?
Oh man. Unexpectedly improved because I trust the process, man. Like so trusting the process isn't like a it's not like a flashbang thing for me. You know, it's a slow roll of events of knowing that I'm trusting the process. Um there was a time when I was in my first home group, that there were some people that might, you know, God, we're not going to get along with everybody. You know what I mean? I love everybody, but I don't like everybody, right? And so personalities are gonna um you know, not all personalities are going to get along. And when you're in a home group of a lot of people and you do service commitments and you're in and you go to business meetings, that beautiful term we call business meetings, we always like to giggle when we say that word,
Oh God.
but business
I'm
meetings.
like
But
business
yeah,
meeting.
you really see how, you know, what somebody, not really what somebody's made of, but you can kind of see somebody's true colors when you're in a business meeting, you know, because
Or
somebody can,
darkest colors.
or right, you know,
Whoa.
usually comes out, right? Like there's got to be some kind of give and take in that business meeting, and somebody's going to get uncomfortable. And so there's some people that might not have fancied the way I do business, or just handled myself early on in recovery in my first home group. And and I really had to trust the process because there were some true OGs of that meeting that we had it out, them and him and me and I. And actually, I'll talk to you about this later, Chelsea. I don't want to break any anonymity. It's kind of crazy. You might even know one or two of these people. That full circle I've been talking to lately, and it's come full circle. I love this person. I've always loved this person, but it's very funny that I'm talking to about it with you on the podcast, and you actually do know this individual. Um, Wild. And so it was almost like they were a sheriff of the meeting, right? And then I was kind of this young gun coming in, kind of maybe taking his sheriff position. And it worked out for the good because I ended up leaving that home group, and if I found meeting makers. And
Right.
then from there, you know, from there, that was when meeting makers was getting started. And then from there, I mean, my life has been has been amazing, right? You know, I have found my home, and it's beautiful. So I had to trust the process that, like, hey, not everybody's going to get along. And I really look, I still love this person. That's why it's really blowing my mind right now. Because this person is an amazing person. They owned up to their side of the problem too, with that also. And they are stronger people because of it now too. It's really cool. It's really cool. I just don't want to break anybody's anonymity, or I'd throw the whole shit out there right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so look, the traditions are so important. They're so important. They are how and why we're able to do what
They're
we're
the
able to do
ties that
every day.
bind us.
They are not, they're non-negotiable. They're the thing that keeps this whole thing alive and free. And by following these guidelines, we're going to be okay. But that's why the traditions equal trusting the process for me. When I go into these business meetings, and sometimes we come through with votes that I just go, what the hell just happened? What in the hell is going on? Long term, 90%, 90% of the time, it works out exactly like it should have, almost every time. And that's how I know the traditions that they're going to keep this thing going. The traditions are really, really strong in our home group, Chelsea.
Mhm.
There's some home groups that they're not. And they're very easy to tell, those home groups that don't have you know, any kind of traditions in their service structure. That we have concepts. We can go on top of that. We have concepts. We have
Yeah.
12 concepts that really lay it out for that service structure. So if you really want to get technically, really want to get into the nuts and bolts of like how you can really be tactical with your service and shit like that, start reading up on that. So it's a great question.
Love that.
Thank you for asking me.
Thank you. All right, so let's see. Can I recall a time when things unexpectedly improved because I stuck with the process? Yeah, so I do a lot of service. That's been established.
She does.
So I was co-hosting on like Wednesday nights or something like that. And then the hosts for Monday and Wednesday switched. And so because the Monday host co-hosted for herself, I switched over to Monday. And I forgot one week that the days had switched and I didn't show up, right? And Andrew and like five other people text me and were like, "Hey, are you okay? What's going on? Like, where are you?" And I felt so bad, right? I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," because like going back to my brother, my brother used to secretary his meeting, lead it, whatever. He was when I got my 1 year chip when I was clean the first time, because he does AA. He was the chip dude. So like he gave me my chip. It was
The
it was
chip dude.
really awesome. Yeah, the chip dude.
Is that what
Chip
they
Um
dude.
call him? Chip dude.
yeah, they call him chip dudes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
uh
And what about
and
chip chicks?
Chip dudettes.
Probably, yeah. I like that. So, he's always had a service commitment at his meeting, right? And he has like rain, shine, or freaking dust storm. He's always there no matter what. I can't go here. I have my meeting, and so I always like coming into this, I knew how serious service commitments were and how serious they were to be taken. And when you say you're going to be there, you need to be there, right? So I felt really guilty that I didn't show up that day. Um, but it was wild. Like it was like immense guilt, and then like that it switched, and I was like, you know what, these people rely on me and they count on me because I show up when I'm supposed to, right? I have all these commitments and people can count on me. I'm a dependable person now. Like I am where I'm always like my whole life I've been late to everything, right? I'm like ADHD. Wah! uh
Me too.
I show up before the meeting, I open the room, or I'm there 10, 15 minutes before for like the pre-parking lot. I'm a parking lot junkie now. Ask Andrew. I've like
Yep. Yep.
meeting makers ends at 8:30 my time. I've been in that parking lot till 5 o'clock in the morning before.
I was gonna say it don't end. It doesn't end. We don't end. No, it keeps on.
Yeah, parking lot pimping, right?
It's parking lot pimping. We love it.
um, but yeah, it was like a really
Music meeting bi-weekly in the
yes,
parking
this
lot.
Saturday. Please come out to
Hey,
meeting
come
makers.
out. We were doing our music meeting, so we have our regular meeting, and then when we end our meeting, we close it down, and then we immediately start. We're doing this bi-weekly now, which Chelsea's like the main MC of this, and we do a music meeting. I don't know if you've ever been to a music meeting where you get to pick a song, and then you get to play the song, and then you get like 4 minutes to talk about what that song means to you and why it was important to you, and it's really a special thing because
Yeah.
you can learn a lot about somebody by their choice of music and then talking about it. And it's a really, really personal thing. A lot of tears, a lot of good tears, and
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful event. It happens. We
It's
go it all
super
night.
awesome.
It's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, absolutely. It's so much
Awesome.
fun. So that'll be like a 8:30 Pacific, 9:30 Mountain, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. We'll start it right about then.
Every
Um,
other Friday, I'll send you the flyer, Milana, if you
every
want to come
other
check it out.
Saturday.
Every
That was
other
Saturday.
Saturday.
Gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd be late for your own meeting.
Anymeetingmakers.com/Zoom. Yeah. So yeah, it was so unexpected, right? That I realized that like without even meaning to change that, like I became a dependable, reliable person. And I'm normally like when I feel bad, I feel really down on myself. I'm meaner to myself than I've ever been to anyone or would ever be to anyone, or anyone's ever been to me. And I've had some fucked up people in my life. I am really mean to myself, but I quickly went from feeling guilty to like feeling proud. Shit, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I was super freaking proud of the fact that I had changed that, and without even realizing it was so unexpected.
That's
So
God working.
that's
God
what I got.
working.
Absolutely.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
That's my
That was
answer.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, okay,
Milan?
so I think after I ask this question, we'll be at 1 hour and 45.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just confirming everybody can go till then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, great. Okay, so Andrew, when we stop demanding answers, we make space for understanding. How have the steps helped you make peace with the unknown?
Well, the steps have allowed me to understand, man. I'm not on my timing anymore, man. I'm not on my timing anymore. I'm on God's timing. Um, and like I can actually mean that and say that today. I wake up every single morning and I thank God for giving me my self will back. I've said this before. I feel like He tricks me, man. My God's got a sense of humor. I feel like He wakes me up every morning and He tries to hand me my self will, like on this beautiful breakfast platter
Mm.
of like eggs and toast. Woo!
He's putting you to sleep.
And
No.
so I'm asleep. So then he hands it to me, and then I don't even think about it. I go to like eat it, and he's like sitting back watching me like. I know he's hungry. I know he's thirsty, and I just handed him some al dente scrambled eggs with chives on it, and he can't not eat it. And it's crazy. Like I'll go to start eating it, and then I realize that that's not scrambled eggs in that in that plate, and then I have to give that shit back, right? Like I understand I've been tricked a little bit, and I understand that I don't know what to do with, like, I don't know how to eat it. I don't know how to eat that plate. I don't know how to handle my self will, right? Like if I have it for too long, I'm gonna blow that shit up. So I get real uncomfortable when I start taking that self will back. I pray it back immediately, sometimes several times throughout the day. Um, Being able to go to meetings taps me into that too. Um, Stress can kill you faster than a bullet will, Miss Chelsea. And so, um, yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to really stay tapped into him. I don't even remember what your question was, Mike. Can you ask that question one more time?
How have the steps helped you make peace with
The
the
steps,
unknown?
yes, yes. So, the steps have given me, a roadmap essentially, right? A roadmap on my daily routine to be able to be a better person. The steps allow me to understand what I am good at, to work on the opposite of those things, right? We talked about that, like you said that, Chelsea, like you're late. I'm late all the time. So the step process allows me to work on specifically being early to things, which doesn't it hasn't helped me too much on the being early to things. So I'm still a little late sometimes, but overall, I'm a lot better. I'm a lot better. Like I show up to work on time. I might be
You show up
running
to
there.
meetings on
I
time.
show up to meeting on time. I am more apt to missing my like work than a service commitment. That's the dead honest truth. Like I've missed work to be able to be of service before and that's not the best thing in the world. I don't miss a lot of work, but I look at my service commitments as my job, if not more important than that. What do they say? Never have we ever seen a person live the Narcotics Anonymous life program relapse. Close quote. Not like if they do this, if they do this. You know what I mean? So I've got to adapt my life to the program, not adapt the program to my life. And what are we doing? We're taking our character defects and turning them into defects with character, Milan. We talked about that last
That,
time. It's a good little spin on it, right? And a character defect, a shortcoming is like a flat tire, and a character defect is like driving on that flat tire. Does that make sense? Like
isn't
we
it the
understand.
opposite?
No. A shortcoming. No. I've got it. No, don't mess me up. You mess me
I
up.
swear, I swear it's backwards. It's the back
No.
opposite.
But anyway, what does it say? I can't remember it now. I think it's.
It's
I
the
don't know.
defect would be the flat tire, and the shortcoming is driving on it because the shortcoming is the action.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You
that
are
Yeah,
makes
right.
sense.
You
yeah,
are right. Yes. So
yeah.
that part,
That-
and that's my answer. So yeah, I don't even know where I was at. So
I
but in
love
order to
it
have
though.
branches in heaven, you got to have roots in hell, and these are the only steps you can't take the elevator on Milan. Remember that.
Boom.
Got to do them.
I love you, man.
Love you more.
Okay, Chelsea, when we stop demanding answers, we make space for understanding. How have the steps helped you make peace with the unknown?
So, like I said earlier, I just finished step one yesterday, so I'm still a baby in my step work.
Okay.
But step one helped me to like fully accept that I'm an addict, right? Like I had accepted it, and but it helped me to like really see that like my life in active addiction is completely unmanageable. A couple weeks ago, Andrew knows, a couple weeks ago, I almost talked myself into a relapse. I don't know why. It
I'm
was
glad
like,
you're not good at persuading.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. I'm not like Andrew. I can't sell
Mm.
a ketchup popsicle to a lady in a white dress on a hot day. um,
He
but
could.
I
Crazy.
love
It's
that
so
one so
true. It's
much.
so true.
But yeah, I mean, I almost did, right? And I thought on it and I thought on it and I'm like, I don't know why, like I just felt like using, like nothing triggered me. But you know what I think it was that my sponsor pointed out is I was coming up on 6 months, and I think when I know
PMS.
rears its ugly head and can make us feel like uh irritable and discontent and want to use and all that at the key tag milestone. So 30 days, 60 days, 90 days.
Pre-medallion syndrome. PMS.
Pre-medallion syndrome. Yep. 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, and 2 years.
Shit's
And I
real.
don't hear this talked about enough. So like please pay attention.
Yeah.
If you want to, if you're starting to feel like it will pass, you'll feel like shit for a few days, but it gets better. Just hang in there. Um, and but I was like 2 weeks before I hit 6 months. So I don't think it was that. I think I was just getting squirrely. Um, and I was really close, and I did the one thing that I had never done before. I just picked up the phone and called my sponsor. I had talked to her on the phone.
Ooh.
Like, we would jump in Zoom meetings and talk for like hours or whatever, but like I struggle a lot with asking for help. I don't it's always been me, right? Like, I grew up in a really abusive household. I always took care of myself and my brothers. So I've got 4 kids and no reliable childcare. Like, I can't depend on anyone but myself. And so it's been a real adjustment for me, like getting comfortable in a sponsorship relationship. I don't mind telling her anything. Like, I'm very much an open book when it comes to NA. I share very openly and honestly and vulnerably because I know that's how you get the most out of it. But go. Um uh she totally threw me off. Yeah, so I picked up the phone, I called her, and we talked for like 45 minutes and I felt better. But I was maybe halfway through step one, but I hadn't picked it up in like 2 weeks, right? And so I like did some step work, and as I've been doing more step work, I've realized like my life was really unmanageable, and I don't want to go back out. Like, I've realized in almost relapsing twice that I really don't want to use as much as I think I want to use, because like on day 28 I hit up my dealer. I had a plan for how much I was going to take that day and the next day. It was all planned out. I just needed him to call me back or text me back and tell me like, all right, come pick up. And I was going to do it, right? I convinced myself. But I jumped in a meeting and like 45 minutes late, right? Jumped in a meeting and I shared, I really, really, really want to get high right now. And I talked in the parking lot for a while and I still wanted to get loaded. So I text my parents and I have a group chat with my mom, my dad, and me. I really, really, really want to get high right now. And there's my daughter.
Hi. Hi,
So,
princess.
Hi. Hi, sweetheart.
What's her
and
name?
Delilah.
Hi,
Oh,
Delilah.
she's so beautiful.
Hey there, Delilah. She can't see herself. That's funny.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
and that's when my mom told me, like, you have to tell your kids, Delaney, I'm choosing drugs over you. Desi, I'm choosing drugs over you. Delilah, I'm choosing drugs over you.
Hi.
Dakota, I'm choosing
Hi,
drugs over you.
Delilah.
Say hi. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to do that, right? And it made me like want to not use a little bit more, but I still wanted to. So without realizing what I was doing, I did the one thing that knew meant I couldn't use, and I told my husband, I really, really, really want to get high right now. And he told me, you use one more pill, one more puff, one more anything, I'm taking the kids. I'm kicking you out. That's it. I'm done. No more chances. That's it. And that fear has helped keep me clean in moments when I want to use. But it's not the only thing that keeps me clean, because at the end of the day I've realized that like I don't want that life anymore. And it feels so good when I get through the hard time and I realize like, should I still want this for myself? Because Andrew knows I was sharing in meetings not that long ago, like, I don't know if I still want this for myself or if it's changed to now I'm only staying clean because I have to.
Huh?
And every single time I have realized I still want this for myself. So step one, just help remind me that I do want this for myself. I am completely powerless over my addiction. My life was completely unmanageable while I was using, and it helped me realize too, like my life, like with my TV addiction, right? It gets pretty unmanageable at times. I start like my kid's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, hold on, just wait a little bit. Let me finish this episode. It starts getting unmanageable again. So it's helped me process those process addictions a little more too. And I am so happy to say that I'm on day 2 with no Red Bulls. I'm making
Come
freaking
on,
progress.
Chelsea.
Ooh,
Come on.
Yeah, so that would be my answer.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I had
Beautiful.
to give up coffee last year. I
Word.
realized that there was no serenity for me in coffee, and I switched back to tea. And
You gave up coffee and cigarettes, man. You're a beast, bro. God
life
dang.
is a lot simpler.
I need to come hang out with you and figure out what the hell you're doing, man.
Huh.
When we stop demanding answers, we make space for understanding. How have the steps helped me make peace with the unknown? Well, like the last, like for me, Chelsea, it was like 37 and a half years I was in active alcohol and drug addiction. And the last 17, though, were my like struggle against step one, I would call it, where I knew there was a problem, but I had to, explore every option of trying to fix it myself, and so step one has helped me make peace with the unknown in the way that it doesn't matter what is happening. I never think that I'm okay to try it again. Like I have no reservations or no preconceived notions that I'm going to get away with something without it going horribly sideways. And like, because I can't be casual. And it took me 17 and a half years of proving that. Like every time, man, I had fucking 16 or 18 months off at one point, white knuckling it. And I was not happy. I was not happy. And all I was full of was resentment for the people I was quitting for who were not me at that point. And, but also when surrendering my will to the universe, finally I feel part of things. Like I feel like I had that terminal uniqueness that I should be in control of all these things if only everybody would act like I wanted them to act. And that was, first of all, causing all the anger and stress in me because people weren't behaving properly, obviously. But in also in that, it's that, like I couldn't have peace of the unknown because I was too busy trying to control all the unknown. And now inside that surrender and that gratitude and that prayer, there's just way more peace sitting in there. And and I make that part of my morning every morning now. Like the like I was saying with the two-way prayer, like getting my answers and knowing what the better things are for me to do today sure makes it a lot easier to do the right things. Like it's like here's the exit door, but you keep walking into a wall. And I'm like, after a while, your nose gets sore, then your head gets sore, maybe your knees from bumping. And then you look and you're like, why don't I just use the exit door? Because it's the right thing to do to get out of this hell,
My
you know?
toes hurt.
Yeah. And so I like it just has made life so much simpler for me to follow these steps. And then you know, it also is, like I have a lot less to make amends for if I'm doing the right thing right now. And like I'm step tenning in a lower frequency, not because I'm being less vigilant, but because I'm having less to make up for. And I'm
Andy
really
says your
enjoying
middle
it.
name. Sorry.
Well, I know I gotta keep it alive. Like I'm still rapid response step 10, but it's just like less frequent maybe. We got a free horse in our yard here at our place, and I'll tell you, man, free horses bring a lot of love into life. I'm like brushing this beautiful golden horse
He
these
lives in a
days.
whole nother world than we do, Chelsea. He lives like
I
up in these
freaking
mountains and these like free horses and like unicorns and things. It's
Dude,
Andrew,
like
crazy.
you
free
forget I
horses.
live on a ranch, so I see
Yeah,
horses walking down the
Oh,
street all
okay.
the time.
yeah,
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 yeah.
I'm in rural California, not in the
yeah.
city.
That's awesome. What part of California are you in?
I'm in Indio, out by Palm Springs.
Okay,
So I don't
cool.
think I'm very far from you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's probably like a day and a half drive down or something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're
That
pretty low. I thought you were in Baja.
No, I'm in BC, Canada.
Oh, okay. Baja,
y'all are
California.
that close to each other?
I think.
Well,
How
like,
far
I
are you
mean,
from Mexicali?
like I would be a 36-hour drive.
Oh, okay. We're pretty far then. I'm
Yeah.
probably closer to Andrew.
Yeah. Well,
He's
probably
way
yeah,
up
something
there.
like
He's
that.
like,
Yeah, I'm at the bottom of Canada, but the
Oh,
the
you're
top
in,
of the
I thought you
states.
were in Mexico. Never mind. Don't
No,
mind
I
me.
like Mexico a lot.
he was in Mexico for a while on
I was in
vacation
Mexico,
for 2 months.
Oh,
for
gotcha.
6 weeks. This
That's
winter.
funny. She thought you were in Mexico.
Mi amo es
sorry.
Milan.
Not only not in Mexico, he's in Canada.
That's right.
Funny. That's
I
cool.
remember you sharing one time about being at a meeting in Mexico.
Yeah,
I
so I went
thought
to
you lived
meetings.
in
6
Mexico.
weeks I was
That's
there.
funny. Oh,
That's
that's
awesome.
cool.
I was doing 5 meetings a week down there.
He
this
started
year.
a meeting in
I-
Mexico.
on the beach.
Yeah, that's right. I
It was
remember that.
amazing. The beach meeting
That's
was awesome.
so awesome.
Shout out to all the
Yep.
Mexico peoples.
Hell
Well,
Saludita.
I want to say thanks for coming here today, Chelsea.
Love you,
Thank you so much
Chelsea.
for having me, guys. I love
And
you.
final comments? Anything you want to say to everybody or anybody?
No, I want to say this. I want to say
Oh,
one
yeah.
more thing, and then we'll let Chelsea end it.
Yeah.
But let's. Yeah. So look, I wanted to say this real quick story. In addiction, imagine being bit by a spider, like a poisonous snake. A poisonous snake, right? And instead of like focusing on healing from that bite, as an addict or most addicts, like we'll chase that snake around and like try to figure out why it bit us, and like we didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve that bite, right? The whole meanwhile we're dying.
Yeah.
I don't want to address the problem that they just bit. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of. I just wanted
That's
to
a
leave
lack
that as
of
like an
trust
ending
in the
story.
process.
Yeah. You gotta trust the process, bro. Like go
Yeah.
get that shit fixed. Worry about that damn snake.
And Chelsea?
And then Chelsea?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for having me. This is so awesome. My kids are so excited I'm going to be on the podcast. I'm like, yeah.
This is my protege right here, Milan, right here.
I would love to have
Andrew
you
is my
back.
mentor.
I would love to
be
have
there.
you back right after you do your step 5.
Okay, that would be
I would
awesome.
love to talk
I'll let
about.
Andrew know.
I would love to talk about how that felt and the process of that. And
Yeah.
and so
if it takes you a long time, we might have you on before then, though.
yeah. But you know,
For other
but
things,
I
but for
just
that specifically.
you know, with some of the newer comer guests that I've had, it's like I kind of like to do like a, let's say, walking through the steps with
progress.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Hell
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, like, and you know, because I just feel that it'll be interesting how it changes you, how it
Yeah.
changes how you respond, but then also for you to talk about the feelings and experiences, you know.
Learning
I'm really
experience for
scared
everybody.
Yeah.
I'm really scared for step 4 and 5. So
No, I'm telling you this right now,
Don't be.
is it hurts to rip the scars off your heart, but there's no
Mhm.
greater freedom than dropping them and letting them
Yeah.
go.
Bro,
I'm
when your
looking
heart can
forward
pump
to it.
Yeah.
at its full range
Yeah.
again, I'm telling you, it's just
Yeah,
so
I
frustrating.
honestly, like, do not fear them because you've already experienced more of the pain than they can
Yeah.
cause.
That
And
part.
That's
so,
true.
like, it's like I had some people who were like just dreading it and that, who were slightly ahead of me in the treatment side. And I was like, man, when I got through it, I was like, you didn't tell me there's freedom on the other side.
Hey, the
Like
magic you're
that
looking
door of
for-
pain goes to freedom. Get out your
yes.
whips. I'm
Hey,
going
the-
to.
Yeah.
The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding, right? So
Yeah.
just get busy
I
and get that
was,
shit done.
I
Yeah.
was so nervous to come here today. I remember, like this morning, I was like, "Fuck! Why did I say yes? I don't want to be here. It's so I'm not gonna have anything good to say." Oh my
Now,
god!
how do you feel? How do you feel now?
I
How you
hope you
feel now?
feel like
Feel
we
good.
welcomed you.
Happy.
I try to
Yeah.
create a
Let's go.
sphere of love and acceptance, and I hope you
Yeah.
feel inside it.
I
You know,
absolutely do.
I got love
Thank
up
you.
here in Andrew. We got acceptance down here in
You're
me.
in
You
the
know what?
club now.
It comes down to myself, though, right? Going back
Yeah.
to like being hard on myself. I'm like, you don't have
Mhm.
anything good to say. You're not gonna know how to answer those questions.
Lies.
You're so dumb, you know?
Lies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we
and then
believe
now
in
I
you.
feel better. So like
Yeah.
you guys have helped me grow today, and I appreciate you. I love
Oh.
you guys so much.
That's amazing.
Love you.
Woo!
Love you. Love you. Love you.
Okay,
so much.
everybody, tune in next episode for more recovery fun. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks again, Chelsea. Love you guys. Please help us help others. If you like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.